Hey y'all, tis I, and welcome back to The Artist's Way, and welcome to week 8. This chapter was pretty long, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little hard to read, but I was hooked the entire time, so let's jump straight into it. This week's chapter title is Recovering a Sense of Strength, and now I will admit, throughout this chapter, I was a little bit conflicted on whether or not this title actually made sense. Looking back, it's pretty clear now that the strength in question is the strength to overcome and keep going. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 4 sections that I resonated with the most, and the first one is called the Ivory Power. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea why this chapter is named the Ivory Power. If I find out, I'll put it on the screen now, but this chapter is about creativity and academics. Specifically, how creativity is viewed within academic spaces and by academic minds. And this chapter really hit home because I grew up as a gifted kid. For a young age, my intelligence was praised and my schooling was put above all else. I even went to a very rigorous academic gifted kid high school. You know exactly the one that I'm talking about. This is a kind of school where the administration cared more about test scores and college acceptances over what we actually wanted for ourselves. And somewhere in that huge pressure cooker, a lot of us, myself included, really put our creativity on the back burner. Because in that kind of world, creativity doesn't count. Far more dangerous, far more soul-chilling, and the subtle discounting that may numb student creativity in the academic growth. And again, Cameron puts it perfectly. Creativity cannot be comfortably quantified in intellectual terms. That right there is the core tension. Creativity does not fit into a Scantron box. It doesn't have a neat rubric. There is no right answer. There is no formula to memorize. And that was so frustrating to me, especially as someone raised in academic spaces. I wanted a formula. I still do. I still try over and over to try and make one. I mean, if I can figure out physics by memorizing formulas, surely I can figure out how to write the perfect screenplay, right? Wrong. Art does not work like that. And trying to force it into that shape only crushed me even more. To be blunt, most academics know how to take something apart, but not how to assemble it. And if you've ever been in a high-intensity academic setting, you know exactly what she means. Creativity is often seen as lesser, as soft, easy, even unnecessary. Like anyone can paint, anyone can write a poem. But Cameron then counters with this. This is not to say artists lack rigor. Rather, that artistic rigor is grounded differently than intellectual life usually admits. That line just gave me chills because art does require intelligence and effort just differently than what we see in academic setting. Artists and intellectuals are not the same animal. And it's really sad how many people lose their artistic voice before they even get a chance to use it. Many talented creatives were daunted early and unfairly by their inability to conform to a norm that was not their own. That was me. Full stop. I was good at school, but I just really didn't fit into this world that they were trying to make for me. I had big dreams of storytelling, filmmaking, sports media, but honestly, I felt ashamed of it all. Ashamed that they weren't practical, that they were too much, that I was wasting my intelligence on something that didn't require it. Shamed at their lack of talent, shamed by their grandeur dreams, the young artists may channel their gifts into commercial endeavors, and they forget their dreams of doing more groundbreaking and risky work. Now, this line really haunts me because I see it happen all the time. We dim our creative light just to try and shine in systems that weren't built for us. And it happened to me. I chose to major in advertising because it was practical and safe. It just didn't feel as crazy as the dreams that I actually wanted to achieve. I'm still an advertising major, but honestly, the job market is shit. So I might as well pursue something I actually love and turn advertising into something I love, like sports media or film advertising, film journalism, something that actually makes me want to create. Now that section is pretty long, so we're gonna try to speed run the next 3. Gain disguised as loss. Essentially, bounce back. Every loss must always be viewed as potential gain. It's all in the framing. She's basically saying that as creatives, we have to find our silver lining. It's not optional, it's essential to our survival. That's really the only way that we can continue to keep moving forward. And if the present hurts this badly, we tend to view the future as impending pain. This one really slapped me in the face because I do this a lot. I think this way a lot. When I mess up or fail in the moment, my brain goes, cool, that must mean this future is gonna suck too, right? So why even try? And honestly, not just with art, just kind of with everything, but I'm starting to learn that giving up really isn't the serve that I thought it was. The best work or the deepest healing often comes from turning that negative energy into something that serves you. The trick is to metabolize pain as energy. When faced with a loss, immediately take one small action to support your artist. And this perfectly connects to the next section I'll be talking about. Filling the form. This section is all about taking small steps before you try to take the big ones. Most of the time, the next right thing is something small. Block creatives like to think they are looking at changing their whole life in one fell swoop. And yeah, that's me. On paper to a T. Especially at this age when everyone keeps telling you everything's gonna change, just one small moment and your whole life is gonna flip. That kind of thinking makes you afraid of taking small steps because you'll assume that they'll spiral into something completely different and much bigger, especially something bigger that you're not ready for. So you freeze, you fantasize the big dream even though you haven't even thought about the small one yet. Fantasizing about pursuing our art full-time, we fail to pursue it part-time or at all. Most blocked creatives have an addiction to anxiety. Again, she called me out on this one. Yes, I have anxiety, if it wasn't already obvious, but my art or creative anxiety is probably the worst subgenre of it all. Filling the form means that we must work with what we have rather than languish in complaints over what we have not. I struggle with this one immensely. I always say I'll start when I have the right tools, the right space, the right time. Spoiler alert, that's exactly how you never start at all. There's no perfect moment. There never will be, and there's no such thing as a perfect moment. And honestly, that's one of the hardest things to ever accept. The last section I'll be talking about in this video is called Age and Time, Product and Process. Now, this one really hit me as a 20-year-old who already feels like she's running behind. Many block creatives tell themselves they are both too old and too young to allow themselves to pursue their dreams. Again, I live in this tension constantly, feeling like I've already missed out on my shot, but also like it hasn't come yet. Instead of allowing ourselves a creative journey, we focus on the length of the trip. The attention to final form ignores the fact that creativity lies in not the done, but in doing. Focused on process, our creative life retains a sense of adventure. Focused on product, the same creative life can feel foolish and barren. These lines also hit especially hard because I'm a type who struggles to feel proud or productive unless my project is finished. What can I say? I'm addicted to results. I want to enjoy the process, but most of the time, honestly, I don't. And that really fucking sucks. Because the process should be the fun part. The journey is supposed to be just as fulfilling, if not more, than the end. But I'm still learning on how to admit that. And that's on growth. Now, I have made some pretty big changes in the way that I do my morning pages, and that I don't do 3 pages every day anymore. I know that's what I'm supposed to do, but hear me out. I went back to work this week and that really put a halt on how I do my 3 pages consistently, and I'll be damn sure that I'm not waking up at 5:30 to try and do 3 pages every day. But I do still do a 1-page minimum. I do journal every day, it's just at least 1 page instead of doing 3. 3 pages just didn't feel sustainable with how much I was working, so for now, 1 is still the minimum, and maybe we'll try to work up to more. I will say though, going back to work is really making me rethink about how I'm gonna do things once I return to school and I have 3 jobs, 16 credit hours, and I'm in like 50 million clubs. Not just with journaling, but with content and kind of anything really. I still plan on consistently making videos. I feel like my process is just gonna look different, and also the amount of YouTube videos I upload is also gonna look different. And maybe less, just so I can get settled and figure things out. But never fear, videos will still be coming. For my artist date this week, I went to the movies. Who's shocked? No, but I saw Superman, and I'm considering this an artist date because I haven't been to the movies in like 2 weeks, and I absolutely loved this movie. I went after work, I walked to the theater, I got my little snack. The theater was packed, by the way. I saw it in IMAX, so I am considering this an artist date. And this is honestly the perfect movie for me to consider an artist date, just because why am I like so full of hope now? It was just fun and colorful, well written. It was just perfect. I particularly love the cinematography. If you know anything about me, it's that I'm a slut. for cinematography. And it low-key high-key motivated me to like finish my scripts so that I can make them and do cool ass cinematography like this movie has. I just love movies and filmmaking and hope and being human, etc, etc. In conclusion, this chapter meant quite a lot to me. If you ever felt like your creativity didn't count in school, or your art wasn't valid because it couldn't be graded, or if you're trying to make peace with process over perfection, trust me, you're not alone, and this book will definitely make sure that you know that you're not alone. The academic world and age does not define creativity. We do. And the work we make, whether it's weird, risky, unmeasurable, it matters. It always matters. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and tell me what your schooling experience was like, especially with your creativity. I would love to know. Okay, I love you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Smooches. Bye.